All right, I'm going to do another Cryptex today, and just kind of showing you a few of the things I figured out. And Ron's been sending me a bunch of links from different woodworking blogs and stuff where they have articles and stuff. So go check those out there if you do a quick search. But I need some help. I want to do a segmented one. I want the barrel to be segmented. It's 2.5 inches around, so I want a 2.5 inch cylinder when I'm done, and the spacing on it is 1/2 inch. So I need to know what angle that is, what angle to cut the wedges to come up with a 2.5 inch circle and the segmented piece to be 1/2 inch. So if somebody can help me out with that, I would appreciate it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for the tumblers, I'm just using some mahogany I had, and I just went ahead and cut 3x3 blocks and then just trued it up. I'm going to use this as the template. Just brought it down with the parting tool there. I'll bring the rest of it down. And it's at 1800, and I'm just using a ball gouge. Just check it. Just a little bit big, and with sanding it'll come down. Maybe a little bit more. One more pass. And yes, I did went and picked up the Nova Live Center. It's nice and quiet. I'm sure you noticed that right off the bat. I was looking at the One Way and the Nova. The Nova was quite a bit cheaper, and I think it was $72, and I think the One Way was 100 and something. But I had quite a few people give me some feedback on it, and they have never had problems with it. It's all good. And I got to thinking about it. I have 2 Nova chucks that I use all the time, and this one is going on 17 years, and I've never had a problem with it. So I decided to stay with what I know works, and it's nice and quiet. Comes with a bunch of different accessories too, and for the $72, I think it was cheaper than that other one I got. I can't remember what I paid for that box set, but there we go. Okay, so my tumblers are 1/2 inch is what I'm making them. On the last one I did on the video, I didn't come in quite so far. I remarked this. I'm coming in 3/8 with this bit right here. So because I'm using bigger pins. The pins I used on the very first one were super small and really flimsy. But so I got some bigger dowels, and I got a maple dowel. So it's nice good hardwood. I can't remember even what the other dowel was, but it was just too small. So I want to give it a little more room here. And we'll just come into that point and turn the lathe speed down to about 800, or 700 or 800, I guess. Right up to that line. Alright, and there's my width for the tumbler. Okay, and then I have my inside diameter. I'm going to bring it down with the parting tool with that. Lathe speed back up. Also gonna just kind of taper it in just a little bit on both sides, just to make sure it seats on there, and with a little bit of sanding too. And just check it to make sure it's right. There we go. And I'll turn the lathe speed back down and sand it now. All right, and while I'm here, I forgot my small parting tool. Just come in, just stick it in there quite a ways. I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch or so. And then when you take your other bit and run it through, it just pops them loose. So I got a fast way rather than I was boring it out and then trying to cut them off and catch them. And this works much easier. I'll show you in just a second. Let me sand this up. All right, there we go. I sanded it up. I'm just going to come in with the next bit down. And there you go. Just breaks it free. It does leave it a little bit rough, but on the first one I went ahead and hand sanded all those, not realizing that I'm going to bring that thickness down. So don't even worry about it, because you're going to put put it on a sander and sand that down quite a bit, so it'll take care of that. And then when you put them together, you still have a little bit of a ring there for them to ride on, just like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the next rest of them, and then we'll be back. Okay, so what I did is I brought the poplar down, I sanded it up so these fit on there nice and snug, a little bit tight. But what I did was left this is the final piece, is the end cap. So when I did the other one, it was a little bit sloppy because I brought it all down the same diameter. So when I was trying to glue it on, I had to keep moving it back and forth as the glue was setting up, and it was just a pain. So I brought this down, it's tight. So I'm just going to hand sand it till it just barely fits on there, and I have to press it on so that I don't have to worry about it moving on, and it lines up perfectly with the rest of them. And then you just, the rest of them have a little bit of play, so everything slides, turns nice. So I'm just going to bore this out. There. Okay. Okay, it's not very deep, so I'm going to just take the skew. There we go. So when you can kind of see down in there too, it's a little bit rough. It's not, I mean, not bad at all, but it's got some little fibers torn up in it. So go ahead and sand the inside of this. If you want to do any sanding on it, do that now, because when we're going to make the cylinder and we want it to slide in there and be nice and snug. So do that now before you do the other cylinder, and then go back and sand this. Okay, and I just took the barrel sander and cleaned it up a little bit. This one you don't see that much, but when you pull the thing apart, you can see down in it, so clean it up a little bit. The other thing is that with the Forstner bit here, I brought it out about as far as I could, and this one slides into the jaw here all the way up. If you get it all the way up, it ends up being right at 3 7/8. So if you're doing 5 letters and your letters are 1/2 inch, mine are right at 1/2 inch, it works out perfectly. You don't have to put an extension on it, which is nice. And you can see it where it bottomed out right there. It's just, it's almost flush. So the whole thing together works out to where all the letters fit on there, and it gives you a little bit of room here to glue the thing into the end caps. So just keep that in mind if you're doing more letters, or you can make these a little bit smaller to compensate for this going into the end cap too. So if you're going to do more letters, you need to get an extension on there. Okay, I have my next piece in there. I'm going to set my diameter. A little bit tight for sanding. Just using my skew, and I brought it back up to 1800. All right, because this one shows when you pull it out, I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding this one. All right, I just brought it down. I sanded it right to 600, so it's nice and smooth. Got a little bit of play in there, not much, but poplars are really nice secondary wood. Not a lot of movement, so shouldn't have a problem with it swelling or anything. So let's go ahead and bore this one out. And I have the lathe speed on this right about 800 is what I'm running at. I found that seems to be a good speed, and it doesn't heat up too much. Right up there before it touches. All right, and one other thing, it doesn't matter on the bit size. You can use whatever you want. The reason I'm only going this small is so I don't have to use an extension. This is 1.25 inches, and that way it slides right over the part of the chuck, this part of the chuck here, and I don't have to use the extension to get in the depth I need. So that's the only reason, but you can do whatever size you want. And the wall thickness is 1/8, and you can vary that however you want to. It seems to work really well. Putting the pins in, it's plenty of stability for them, and it's got a little bit of something for the glue to bite to when you put them in. Okay, again, I'm just going to bring it down to the ring. Actually, just a little bit bigger than the ring, and roll it over and make the end cap here. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring the rest of it down to there. And you can shape it however you want. I'm just going to do a simple one on this. Okay, so the last one I made, I just drilled in with a Forstner bit and then slid this in there, but it wouldn't seat right. It was, you know, just off just a little bit. I kept having to adjust it. So on the other end cap, when I made the other end cap, I just came in with the thin parting tool, so it fits in there nice and tight. It's straight, everything's good. So, and then I came in with a Forstner bit so I can turn it around and turn the other side. But let's go ahead and do that. And just come in with my thin parting tool. Just kind of test it and see right where it's at. Come out a little bit more. Okay, so once you get the groove in there and it seats down in there, runs nice and true, you can make your slice. But don't do the slice down the center for the pins first, because once you do that, it's gonna close a little bit, and then when you do this, it's not gonna be even. It's gonna be off a little bit. So do this first. Put your groove in there, and then that way it'll expand it back open when you put it in and glue it in. So, okay, so let's run Forstner bit down into this now. So I'm just gonna bore this out, and the only reason I'm boring this out is so that when I part this off, I can turn around, make a jam chuck, and finish the top side of it here. No other reason. If you want to use a screw chuck or something else, that's fine. This is just easy for me, so I'm gonna just do this. Turn the lathe speed down a little bit. And you can also, by doing this, you can bore into it here, so your cylinder actually becomes longer. You can put more stuff inside of it. There we go. Now I'm just going to sand up the lip here, and then I'll part it off. Okay, so I just went ahead and brought the length down here so it fits right inside there, and you can see where we at right there. You can see how tight it is. I just pressed that on to get it a nice snug fit. So my next thing is I'm gonna cut the slice in this, and then when I put it all back together, I may need to take my cone on my live center and put it into it and expand it a little bit, which make it true. So I haven't tried that yet, but I'm gonna do that once I cut it. If it tried to pull in a little bit, I'll slide a cone down there to open it back up while the glue dries. All right, so I just made a little jam chuck for the end chucks, and that's why I drilled the Forstner bit down inside there. Put that on. And we'll go ahead and shape things. Okay, I have the end caps done. They're all ready to go. I'm gonna glue it up, and you can see by cutting that it's tight now, so it needs to expand itself back out. So okay, it's all glued up, ready to go back together, and you can see that it's loose now because I got the groove in it. So I just cupped out the little jam chuck there. I'm going to put it in there, and then the live center actually works out perfectly to expand it back out. And I'll put a little bit of glue on it, and then put a little bit of pressure on it, and it'll pull it back apart. Okay, it's all glued together, and I'm going to mark for the letters. Ron had a great idea to just use your tool, Russ, to make a nice straight line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to line up center for it on the 2 end caps. Put a small mark there. And then roll it back to right where the opening is, and then run my line down that. And then they'll all line up. But there we go, and then you have it all lined up, and they're all straight all the way around. And great idea, thank you, Ron. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish lettering it. It's for somebody, so I'm gonna finish it up and put it in the mail. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.